Hey y'all, you're welcome back to Reviews and Recap. So I know everyone is coming for Porsha, and I understand why everyone seems to be coming for Porsha, but I think that Shamia, darling, it seems that you're very similar to Porsha than most people would have realized. Now, first of all, hit that like button as you guys come in, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. I feel like this episode was better than the last episode, but it's still not given much. So all I want to talk about today are various things that I really caught on to and want to talk about. Now, I feel like Porsha and Dennis situation. I don't believe Porsha likes Dennis like that. I don't think she wants him. But I think it's the perfect example of you don't want this man, but you don't want anyone to want this man. And you want to always have the control over this man, which you will not get if he is liking somebody else. So it's almost like when you say you moved on from your ex, but you don't want your ex to move on, you always want to have his heartstrings so that you can pull them whichever way you feel like pulling them. And I really believe that that is it between Porsha and Dennis. I think the whole them having a confessional together, I'm like, okay. It's given Dennis also wants a peach. It's given Dennis wants to be on the show as a full-time housewife, honey. It's giving all of that. Now, I do think it's also very interesting that Dennis is being exposed a little bit as a bit of a liar. So he was saying that, it wasn't intentional, the whole filming. But then production showed that he pulled up to the studio even before Drew. So he must have known that there were cameras there. He could have literally said, no, guys, tap out. I do not want to film. Instead, he was still filming. And guess what? Imagine, why did he then drag himself into the confessional with Porsha if he's not trying to be on TV? That man wants to be on TV. That's it. That's all. That's how I feel about it. Now, I do know like a lot of people have been talking about the whole dog that Porsha brought over there to Pilar. What people need to realize is sometimes kids are different. Some kids are more excited about stuff. Some kids are very cool, calm, and collected. To be honest, PJ tends to always look cool, calm, and collected in most things anyway. So I'm not surprised she wasn't out here jumping about it. Besides, how many children will be jumping and excited and doing all of that when they have cameras right in front of them? So I just think acting like, okay, maybe PJ didn't want a pet or whatever, I don't think that's a fair assessment. We don't know for certain. We do not know. There are some children that are a lot more shy. There are some that are like, nah, they want to be on camera. They're comfortable. They are just out here being themselves. So that's how I feel about that. I just don't think it's fair to be like, oh yeah, PJ looks like she didn't even want no dog. Like, I feel like if we look at the way she normally looks anyway, she looks pretty unbothered in all of her pictures for the most part, all of that. So I just think maybe that is just how she is as a child. Now, let's move on to Charles Oakley and his wife, Angela. Now, I always feel like scenes between them, it can be entertaining, but it's super cringeworthy because I'm just thinking like, that's your husband. The fact that you're out here in confessionals talking about if you're trying to get the haters' perspective, you go to your husband. That is wild. That is given like your husband is not rooting for you. And my thing is, where's the support? Like, I'm not saying there needs to be blind support from your spouse and he needs to ride for everything that you do, including the disgusting things that you do. I don't agree with that. But at the same time, it's like, it's given this man is never on your side. He's never going to see it from your perspective. Now, one thing I will say that I agree with Charles about is Angela was wrong. Don't invite somebody who the host does not mess with. They're not friends at the moment. Her birthday party is not the event to do that. If you were really trying to make amends and have good intentions, you would have invited both of them to lunch. You would have dealt with it. You would have resolved it before then having a whole event with drama. But I think you understood the assignment and knew what Real Housewives of Atlanta was about. And so you brought it. And to be honest, you've been bringing it this season. I feel like all of the main things that have popped up this season has been with her at the center, with her sort of like being a little bit of a puppet master and puppeteering everything. That is what it has been given since the start of the show. Like, let's not forget, Britt was out here pouring out her heart to her about the whole Kenya situation. Then she goes in, leaves a message in the game about it, and then sets things on fire, says nothing in that moment. Then afterward, this girl is out here thinking you're supporting her, and then you're like, well, I didn't experience that, and I don't think anyone else saw it. And it's like, girl, are you for me or are you against me? So let's not forget all of that. Nonetheless, it is making for good reality TV because at least somebody is bringing it this season. Now, I feel like I understand why Britt does not see it for Angela. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they don't get why Britt doesn't see it for Angela. I understand why Britt would not see it for Angela. Let's be clear. I know you lot don't like Britt, but I feel like I'm a little bit neutral in this situation because I don't care for Britt. I don't care for Kenya either. So, but thinking about it for a second, right? Britt had a conversation with Angela. Angela was there like, yeah, you're my soul sister, acting like she was riding for her and all of that, only to find out that she was the reason the whole thing happened in the first place. Now, I can't remember if Britt saw that part or found out about that part, but considering her and Kelly are close, I'm sure Kelly would have mentioned it. So I'm not surprised that Britt would have a hard-on for Angela after that fact. If I were in that situation too, I would not be seeing it for Angela because Angela was giving me the impression that she understood it. She also saw it, only to then find out that, nah, it was just all for drama purposes. So that's a shady. So now that I've caught everybody up on that, because I feel like everyone likes to act like they have amnesia when it comes to the whole Britt and Angela beef. Now, I will say, Angela gagged everybody. Angela talked about Britt having miles in her mouth, okay? Angela read her down. When I say she read her for filth, I think Britt was gagged. I don't think Britt expected it. Britt, if I were you, for the reunion, I need to go and learn the reads. I need to learn how to read. I'll be practicing it in my mirror because Angela is going to read you for filth if you don't get it together before the reunion, honey. She gonna come and read you like a book. So you better be ready, okay? Britt, don't go outside. You need to be ready. She talked about miles on your mouth, honey. Especially because there was a pee in your mouth. It is not looking good, bruv. So I'm going to need you to go to the School of Reads and make sure you do a little quick course on that and get your ass ready to read at the reunion, okay? As it felt so imbalanced. It felt like Britt's read was like 5, Angela's read was on 10, honey. It was not matching at all. Then she called the woman a whore. Like, whore. Not even a hoe. A whore. Okay? So she was out here like reading the girl for filth. So Britt, darling, please make sure you come prepared for the reunion. I don't want you with a nasal voice, not ready to read. I'm going to need you to read down, okay? Read down if you're ready. Now, Angela gonna be prepared, and I am ready for that reunion. I need to see Angela read her down. Now, let's talk about Porsha. Don't make me call Porsha. Well, Porsha, come. Here's the thing with you, Porsha. You're very hard to defend because you're out here saying stuff like you gonna F that woman's husband. It's not looking good, bruv. You should have stayed away from saying anything like that, considering how people feel about you and how you got Simon in the first place. It's like, girl, I need you to, even if you're that kind of girl, you need to keep that under wraps. Like, don't let people catch you out here saying stuff like that. Now, I will be honest, I do feel like the way Porsha, in the way in which she said it, was more a joke. I think she probably said it like, the way Angela is coming for me, I'm a I feel like that is how it was said, like or something about like, oh, what if I did it? I feel like that's more what it was. Even Shamia, that ain't really cool with Porsha at the moment, said that it was more said in a really light-hearted joke manner. But I feel like because Porsha, because of your history, mama, with Simon and Fallon, it's not looking good, sis. It really isn't. So if you're out here saying and making jokes about someone else's husband, it is tacky. It is disgusting. It is not acceptable. And I don't blame people that want to drag you about it. Now, I feel like you were inappropriate and you should have taken accountability in the confessionals. I wish that you had taken full accountability instead of being like, yeah, I guess I can't really kiki with my friends anymore. No, nobody's saying you can't kiki with your friends. But if people already think you're a homewrecker, you're a whore or whatever. Okay, well, they didn't call her a whore. I'm sorry. But if people already think that you're out here wrecking homes, wrecking marriages with no respect for marriages, and there's already been rumors in the past of you allegedly sleeping with married people, then you should not even be making those kind of jokes. It's tacky. It's unacceptable. You guys are probably thinking, this girl is activated. I am activated. By the way, I'm actually standing up because I need to get my yogurt downstairs. And I was just like, let me quickly record this before I get my yogurt and some strawberries, get me a little cute snack. Because I am trying to get that and eat that quickly before I start my intermittent fasting, right? But anyways, let's get back into what I was saying. Porsha, honey, you are not the one that should be making jokes like that. I know you're a comedian. I know you love your jokes. I know you find things funny. I know you're a funny girl. I enjoy the comedy. However, coming from you, it's not looking good, sis. Now everyone is out here calling you a Jezebel. You have a Jezebel spirit. I don't know nothing about that. However, sis, it's not looking good. I need you to redeem yourself this season. The Porsha I like Porsha with the good vibes. Porsha that comes, makes everyone laugh. That is the Porsha energy I would like to see. I don't know this dark Porsha, and I don't think you do either. So I need you to get it together. Get you a therapist. I know Simon is taking you through the ringer, allegedly. Whatever it is, sis, I need you to get it together. Get you a therapist. Lock in, relax, honey, because it ain't looking good. I need you to get it together ASAP so that you can come back next season giving us a lot more. What is so sad about the whole thing is it almost feels like your return has been a flop. And I hate to say it because I love me some Porsha, and I'm going to still be on her YouTube channel tonight watching her on YouTube because guess what? She's entertaining to me. I just wish that I could experience that energy over there on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So, mama, I don't know who you've offended in Bravo, but I need you to fix it because this season you're the villain. Okay? Now, let me give you some advice as the villain, honey. So if you ever listen to this, before the reunion, honey, make sure you come with your receipts. Like you, for instance, saying that your baby daddy said something about Drew wanting to smash. I'm going to need you to get the receipts. Make sure it's airtight because Drew is coming for you, in my opinion. Now, it probably will fall flat because Drew just doesn't have it in her like that, in my opinion. But who knows? She may learn from Angela Oakley, honey. She may learn from Kenya, honey, and be ready for that ass. Because guess what? I believe that Angela and Drew are cool with Kenya. So Kenya may be schooling them in readiness for you at the reunion. So Porsha, to make me cool, Porsha, you better be ready. You better be ready with your reads. You and Britt need to go to school, get some reads written. Maybe you need to shout out to Nene, like, oh, hi, Nene, girl. I need you to help me with the reads for the reunion, honey. I think you might need to get on that with something because the girlies are coming for you. Now, I think Kelly is not to be trusted. This is my opinion. And by the way, I like Kelly. Let's just be clear. Would I say I like her? I like all of them, I guess. Do I? Maybe, maybe not. Kind of not. Like, I like what they bring to the show. I will say that. I don't like them personally because I don't know them, right? But I will say, I feel like Kelly is one to watch. I say that because Kelly, the way Kelly is moving, I think she's a sweet girl in real life, but I think she's a bit underhanded. And I say that because when Britt was coming for Angela, honey, she was out here saying, yeah, the baby outside. Like, girl, shut up. This ain't about you. This is between Britt and Angela. And I understand, your friend is getting it, but it didn't even get to that extent yet. Or did it? It did. But still, it's none of your business. Let Angela and Britt handle that. That's my opinion on it. I feel like she should have just stayed out of it. There's no need for you to add anything to it. And I feel like the same thing everyone is accusing Shamia of doing, being a lapdog, it's given that Kelly is also riding a bit too hard for her so-called friend Britt. I feel like they're doing the same things that they accuse Shamia of doing. I find them all very odd. Now let's move to Shamia. Now, I like me some Shamia. I like Porsha. I do think that they both should. I know a lot of people are like, I don't really believe that relationship. I always feel like a lot of times relationships can go through some stuff. I don't really believe that Porsha is jealous of Shamia. I just think Porsha is in a dark space this season and it's showing in everything that she's doing. I think Shamia does not communicate to Porsha to let her know these are the things I don't like, and so that they can resolve it. I feel like those are what the issues are. I feel like those things are not being said, so it's going under the radar. But contrary to popular belief, I feel like they can fix it. Now, before I say what I'm about to say, bear in mind what I said about they can fix it. They can fix it because they are so similar, guys. You guys hate Porsha now and you love Shamia. But look at them. They are the same people, in my opinion. The interesting thing is, let me be honest with you, there is no way you can be friends with someone for such a long time and you guys do not have similarities. There is something about you that connects with whatever it is about them, okay? So you can't say to me, like, don't get me wrong, you have like certain friends that are like your charity case, right? But you mean to tell me you've had this charity case since you guys were little kids? And you've held that charity case until you guys are in your 40s. That is not to be believed. There is no way. Bear in mind, you're calling this person your best friend. There is no way that you guys do not have similarities. And I feel like that is what we saw tonight. So after Porsha got up and they hugged together Angela Oakley, it was Shamia and Angela. First of all, I don't even see the reason why Shamia and Angela should have a thing. Now, Angela said what she said. As a married woman, I don't see why you should be kicking about that. But at the same time, you asked about her husband. Let's be clear. You asked about her husband. You could have stayed out of it. You didn't. Now, is it a question we all want to know? Absolutely. But then she fired back and talked about your husband. So it is what it is. Now, is it tacky, rude? The fact that she has the history that she has is horrible? Absolutely. Right? Goes without saying. However, Angela is not innocent either. Let's be clear. She has been stirring the pot since the start of the season. So I feel like everyone is forgetting that and giving her MVP of the season. Now, is she the MVP of the season? Absolutely. However, I still think that I still don't understand why Shamia and Angela had to have a thing. It could have been like, okay, that's how you feel. This is how I am. It's not a big deal. You were coming after her, But it was given, the energy was weird. And then in the confessionals, and Shamia was then saying something exclamation mark. I'm like, girl, okay, I don't understand this behavior. It's also given that no one is saying that you needed to apologize, but you could have at least seen where she was coming from and said, okay, from my perspective, it was said in jest. It wasn't that deep to me. However, listening to you and hearing how you feel, I get where you're coming from. I think people need to understand that there's a way to empathize with somebody without necessarily changing your POV. My POV could be different, that it was a joke. I didn't take it that seriously. However, I get where you're coming from. You're the person that is who is the butt of the joke. So I can understand you feeling some type of way, right? And not taking it as a joke. So I get it, right? So two things can be true, but the fact that she wasn't willing to do that, and it kind of just felt like it was ended on such a shady note for something that should not have been that deep. That's why I said Shamia and Porsha are more similar than you guys realize. Now, you guys may say I'm wrong, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. That's why you have the comment section to let me know respectfully what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. And I am going to get my yoga. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.